Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is episode 268. We are starting to color the boats. I am using Prismacolor Premier. They are my least, I guess the pencil I have the least confidence in. They feel like using a crayon. They're probably my least, although I love all my pencils, Crayola and these are my least favorites. So I thought, since I'm already out of my comfort zone using them, and of course it's intimidating because everybody loves to use them and is very good at them, I'm going to add the challenge that I need to use neon and not do realism coloring. No real colors. Okay, one color I'm allowing to do real. Here it is. Let's do this first. And it's only on the boat on the right. I'm dealing again with the center fold, so I'm probably going to go ahead and slide this boat a little bit more toward the middle for you guys. I am using Scarlet Lake is going to be my realistic, somewhat realistic, life rings. So there you have it. Let's get these colored in. Most of these, because of the color choices, which should become apparent to you pretty soon. I'll show you my main color combo. I had to sharpen most of these today. The pencils have never been used beyond swatching. And then I've just finished using them for the comparison chart, which the first chart, half of the chart, it's really two charts, and it's not a it's a conversion chart. I used these to convert Starjoy Gold, picked the Prismas, then I had to color every single Prisma. Did not sharpen because they were big rectangles, so it was easy to not have to sharpen them. And then I am just about finished choosing Starjoy Golds. And I'm going to do a video on that because it became pretty complicated. And then my parents came, and that messed everything up. There you go. There is the one. There's a little bit more now that I'm looking at this. The second realism type coloring will be, I'll save that for the end. So we've kicked it off. Now I'm going to share with you my 6-color blend. We will see if I can do this justice. Here it is. I told myself if I have to use these pencils, I am going to, on these boats, which are very playful, fun, fantasy-like boats, I'm going to use neon. So at the either end of my color combo are two of the, I think there's 3 neons. I think there's a pink also. So I am using Neon Yellow 1035, Spring Green 913. It's kind of hard because the English version is way over here and I'm zoomed in so far it's hard to get. I think that works. 903 True Blue, 932 Violet, 993 Hot Pink, and 1036 Neon Orange. I will attempt to hold them in my hand. And because I have this boat, the harder boat for me to work with because of this gap in the spine and all that, I'm just going to start here. I have been wanting, there are some very fantastic fantasy colored images out there in the world, and I have not really forced myself to try them out. I play a computer game called World of Warcraft, and it is like a cartoon. It is so colorful and vibrant with neon greens, purples, fuchsias, blues. So this is in honor of my game I'm playing. There is a new release out, so we actually play it almost every day. Sadly, I have been quite busy with my parents, so there are days when it just does not happen. Thank you all for visiting today, and welcome back if you are returning. I don't say this all that often, but I color a little every day. So 6 days a week, I film coloring for about 45 minutes in my recliner. Today I'm not coloring at my normal time, which is normally when Hub takes his nap. I am coloring in the morning because it's Saturday and I have a lot of things I want to do, and I actually, during Hub's nap time, I want to have a play with the conversion chart and go through some of my shenanigans of how I match more colors to the to the Prisma from Starjoy Gold. And if it's too much work, I'm going to say if you need a particular set of very odd colors that aren't just in the Starjoy Gold 120, you might need to buy a small set of Prismas. This conversion chart is mainly for people who have the Starjoy Golds, who would like to participate in some of the color alongs and online tutorials, but there just isn't a good color conversion chart out there for the Starjoy Gold to Prismas. So I am a poor substitute for the ladies that do such a fantastic job of making these charts, but I'm happy to help out any way I can. It is my goal to have everybody coloring one pencil set at a time. Does not matter what set you own, you should be using them. I put up some polls yesterday. The first polls are the ones related to these pencils behave differently than on copy paper. The copy paper intensity is more like the Holbein. These go down really bright. So see, I'm going to have to do, and remember I'm a light layerer, so maybe I just have to, there. So we're just going to do more pressure. Look at that. So these boats are going to be an experimentation. Now the next challenge that I have will be, can I even remotely replicate these bright colors with the next two sets? I am not sure. I will do my best though. Yeah, you have to use heavy pressure. I did not think of these as a heavy pressure sort of pencil, but they are. If I want to get that vibrancy that equals the vibrancy that I see on the, I think this is the wrong color. Is this the wrong color? No, yeah, it's really dark on the copy paper. Okay, so back to the polls. I had the feeling everybody would say, hey, go ahead and slow down. I want to see everything. And so that appears to be what is happening with the big coloring of the gardening shelves. So I will be walking through each of the background elements, and we are taking our time. That is my preference as well, but I didn't want to bore people. So this is Saturday. It's weird. I was one day ahead. I filmed an extra day in there because Hurricane Milton came through really fast. It landed like 3 hours ahead of whatever. Everybody was saying midnight to 2 a.m. and it landed at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. So by very early Thursday morning, like 5 a.m., it was past us. And then by 6 a.m., we had fluctuating power, which we have a lot of electronics, first off. And then we also have this generator that kicks in automatically, and the whole house switches over to it. So it woke us up. It went off at 6, and then it went off and on and off and on as the power flickered and was deciding whether or not it was going to go out for good or stay on, and it decided to stay on. So by that time everybody was up. So the way I am working this is I am just repeating my, because that was my 6 right there. So now I'm repeating it for the rest of the boat. Again, heavy pressure to get the vividness. I am sure you guys could all give me a class on how to use these. So I'm just going to tell you what I am experiencing. The color edges are definitely just mushing together pretty easily. Same as what it did on the copy paper. Oops, I'm sliding. Oops. Yes, I want to smooth this out. So basically early morning, by 8:30, the wind was died down. So my mom, I went to the trailer. Hub was out on the trail doing some initial assessment. So I went in the trailer and opened it back up, got all the slides out, moved them back in, and then it was grounds cleanup day. And then yesterday I had to go, I'm taking care of somebody's plants. She has way more plants than even I have plants. And I have too many plants. For the record, this is a vacation resort where you're supposed to be able to lock up your hurricane shutters for the summer and go wherever you want to go. And I now have so many plants. So I had to go get my plants from the neighbor's giant RV garage. They don't have an RV in it, they just have their car. So that was lovely. They are some plants. All of my plants are rescue plants. Some people rescue pets. I rescue plants. And the friend who has all of her plants, she's also another plant rescuer. So I have revitalized all of my plants and love them dearly. They're all tropical looking and fun. Let's get that purple a little darker. I would like to see no tooth at all. So here I am going in tiny circles. I'm not doing heavy pressure. I'd say it's medium to heavy. I see a little tooth in the blue too. I'll finish these two off. I love these silly images that Johanna creates that are just her own interpretation of what a boat would be. I would have to be using a photo, maybe adding a tweak here and there, but it would have to look real. And I just love these whimsy images. Okay, I think I have my rainbow boat done. The only neon, the yellow goes down really nice. Let's see if I try one more really small concentrated ovals. I actually see a little bit of crumbs on the orange. And again, this is the neon orange. It's just a little more translucent than the other colors. And I know I'm not supposed to brush with my hand, and my brush is not in its slot. So we hope I'm not going to make a mess today. So that's the start. I'm going to continue on to the rest. What I'm going to do is carry the angled rainbow on the side walls of the boat, the house part, cabin, whatever you call this part of a boat. Not the roofs though. These two roofs are going to be a nice mellow contrast. I'm going to try to get my angle right here. So it's weird coloring down here in the screen room. Out of the corner of my eye, there are squirrels racing around in the grass and up the trees. Okay, so let's get this purple going. I think I need to go, look at that, I can go right over the neon orange with the hot pink. That is so funny. So yes, the squirrels are entertaining. Yesterday I had a squirrel. I think that the thinner ones are female. That's just a guess. Maybe I'm wrong. And it came right up to my door. I have a door that has a long glass window, and then it has the blinds in the window. But the window goes really low to the ground. It's maybe 10 inches. It's not quite a foot. And it tapped on the window. So I went over, and it actually was not scared of me. It makes me think somebody is feeding it. We live in a nature preserve, and you are not supposed to feed the animals, but I'm sure that this one was fed. And it was saying, hey, got any food for me? So we don't want to start those shenanigans, even though I grew up, my boat keeps moving. I grew up with feeding squirrels nuts at my grandparents' house, and we had squirrels that would come right on in, just to the edge of the house, and they would grab a nut and run back out. Let's go to our yellow here. Softening that line. I'll probably go over with the orange and the yellow, see if I can blend that line. It looks just a little, it does not look blended. Then we're on to green. I don't know if I'm going to get any blue. On this level. Okay, so taking this line up, I'm going to approximate for the top floor of the cabin. And then the final pole, back to poles again. So I think I've got a good direction. I'm comfortable with the people who speak will get what they ask for, and those who didn't speak up, who didn't want to see all of the background activity, are going to be a little bit on the bored side. But I hope it will be interesting for everyone. And then my last poll was just me letting everyone know that I've had to make a commitment to Instagram, and I got some good feedback, which was great because I am not an Instagrammer. I've always used Pinterest, and I do use Pinterest for inspiration. That's the main thing. And I already loaded up all of my videos on Pinterest, but not the images. And Instagram is going to be images. I may eventually try to play with short videos where I'm clipping, showing the coloring of a page, just a short version. I've just never done it, and I think it would be fun. And I'm going to put a completed page, or even a completed half of a page. It kind of depends on how I've done the pages. Completed page, links to the videos, and so that's kind of the setup for now. And I really appreciate the input. It's a whole new world. I had it up for a long time. Maybe, well, not a long time. Maybe 2 months. Without kind of putting a link in the world so that people can know that it exists. So I can tell you without a doubt, if you make an Instagram account and you start putting images up there and content, words and links to things, and let it sit, nobody will see you. Nobody. But all I had to do was add the URL to my YouTube channel links. This little tiny corner, I have to say, do I want to add a tiny bit of pink? I think I do. There we go. Finished it off. I see a little tooth. Going back to the purple to fill it in. Here I thought this would go super fast. I wasn't expecting the Prismas to require that heavy pressure to fill in the tooth. So they are not quite as crayon-like as I had expected. I would like this to have less tooth. We're going for as vibrant as we can get. Okay. Next, the flags. I am going to walk along the flags in the same order as starting left to right on the boat. And that means the only color we will not see is going to be the orange. And I'm okay with that. Not that I don't like orange. I originally did not have orange, and the other boat that we're going to do had a slot left for one more color, and that's how I ended up. So I was happy with just the yellow being my only fluorescent or neon, and I was really happy that it ended up I could add the orange so that I could feel like I was using more of the neons. And I could have done, instead of the regular hot pink, I could have done the neon pink, but I thought this neon pink, this hot pink, transitioned a little better. Then that is the last one we're going to do. So since I have these in my hand, and all that's left on here is what I would call mundane or normal colors, I am going to shift myself to this boat. This is a crazy boat. This is the boat I started with, and how I ended up with this rainbow array was this looks like a rainbow. I toyed with whiting out with some India ink so that the lines weren't as dark, and I'm like, you know, this is a fantasy, fun, whimsical coloring that I'm doing, so I'm just going to leave the lines there. I'm not going to worry about them. I knew that I was going to be struggling enough just using the pencils, wanting the vibrant colors, and that would be my challenge. So I didn't need to add the complexity of trying to use the ink. I know that with that ink, it's the Winsor & Newton ink, and then I also have the P.H. Martin's if I wanted it truly opaque. However, when you use those, the behavior of the pencils change because the tooth is altered. And I have encountered some strange issues with that. So I didn't want to deal with that. But that is another day. I do want to continue to grow my white no-line coloring ability. So I am not coloring these one color per line. I am doing a little bit of a blend, a soft smushy blend. Remember, I started with this one first, so it was all about because these are smushable, and I'm not a experienced smusher, this is how I did it. So I'm going to do it exactly like I did the mock-up. This is the silliest looking boat. I like it a lot. So today we are back to sunny weather. It is fall here, and the wonderful thing about a weather change after such a hot summer, although I did look up my power consumption for September, last September's average was 95 degrees. This year's average, 92 degrees. We're a little bit better at the temperature that we can keep the house. I remember last year going and with it so hot, shifting down a degree because I would be miserable, and this year I have not had to do that at all. So our power bill, we saved $40, all because we are now acclimatized to the heat of summer and humidity here in Florida. I think I want a little more blue. I'm gonna go all the way down to that line. Get that really solid. Heavy pressure here. There's a line right there. Probably an eraser or pencil line from something I was doing, and I'm able to fill it in. Some pencils, it's really hard to fill in. It's almost like somebody used an embossing tool and added texture, and some pencils don't fill that in well. Prismas fill that in perfectly. You can keep your hand a little bit lighter and leave the line, a little ghost looking line. So down here in the screen room, I might have mentioned on the last video or two before that I'm leaning to the right side and have my camera coming over my right shoulder instead of my left. So it feels a little awkward. I may have to switch it up if I don't adjust well to having the camera stand on the right shoulder. The camera stand is the least in the way of traffic and everything, and it doesn't have to move at all if I leave it over on the right. If it's on the left, it's going to be a little bit of a pain, so I don't want to have to do that. Yeah, this purple really needs, I'm sure that you could do super heavy pressure and get that tooth filled in instantly. But I am going to do it in 2 layers. I'm afraid that I will overdo something and have to adjust. That's a really thick line, so I am going to... So now, see, I've lost my confidence. I'm not putting that in. I'm going right to the pink. I want to make sure. So my methodology is that I put down some light layers, make sure it's what I want, and then I go back in and burnish. I know that you don't have to do that with the Prismas. You could just burnish and smush together. You don't need to do the light layers. But I am just more comfortable with that. So I'm going all the way down. I want to make sure my neon orange, this is what started the neon orange. This gap right here, I'm like, I'm just going to grab that neon orange and I'm going to use it next to the hot pink. Let's see how it looks. I thought it looked great. Now let's walk back up, fill in those colors, get back to the middle of the camera. Today I can see my camera. I've positioned it low enough that I can see through it. Some days, just the way it works out, I can't. I really need to. If I leave this stand here, it would help. It would be more consistent. I've even been toying with the scenario that I use are two different really inexpensive video tools. One is a light that I've just used the tripod. The light does still work, I just never turn it on. And then a snake that holds my camera. So it's this snake comes horizontally out. I've clipped it to the light, the base of the light at the top of the stand. And if I wanted to leave this here and not have to move it around so that I would be placed more consistently for each video, I'd have to get something different for my desk where I do my haul videos. I actually do all the card making over there too. There we've got this nice and dark, but we have softening at the edges of both sides. And I'm gonna grab the pink again. Boy, this is definitely time consuming. I thought for sure I would blast through this and be done in no time. All right, I want a little more purple. Here's where the smooshing comes in that's lovely. I can just walk right over the top and use my medium to heavy pressure and thicken up that purple line. Okay. A little hot pink extending down into the bottom rung of the rainbow. So today my mom and I are going to go to the pool because the pool exercise classes were canceled from the hurricane. They were canceled all week. I warned my mom that this is a Saturday. It is when, you know, families who maybe live in the park, who work, will be swimming during the day, and there will be children. This is not an age-qualified community. And she's like, that's okay. So she's down for it. Oh, there we go. That is a very bright colored rainbowy boat. It is fun. Next, where else am I going to do rainbow? I am going to walk the colors vertically. I will work them out from the center on both sides of this boat. I have exactly 6 little sections on the left and on the right, not the 6, so I'll have to repeat a little bit. How are we doing for time? See, we're already 33 minutes. I hope you all are enjoying me exploring these. Every time I use them, it's very intimidating because everyone is supposed to love them, and they're supposed to be, you know, the perfect smooshable soft pencil. And I will say I am liking the look. They don't feel like crayons to me. They do feel buttery. They're like a feels very color-like. I've used the colors a lot more than I've used these. I haven't used them on a big enough image to know if I can keep layering over the top once I'm burnished, but I believe that is how these work. Where color, I feel that after I have finished the burnishing step, that I can't really put it. In fact, at that point, I can start glazing. You know, if I'm going to do a color right next to it, I don't have to be careful, and I do know that the Prismacolors you do... Oh, that's not the right color. I need pink. You have to be careful. You will commingle colors. If you do that, you need to be careful with crumbs. You can't brush with your hand the crumbs, or you will risk that it'll just that crumb will streak across your image. I had that happen The only color today that I'm getting, I see crumbs here. Oh, there's more crumbs. Look at that. Okay, I have to pick it up. We're going to try to keep it clean. I'm not used to messy pencils, but look at that. I just saved myself so much pain and heartache had I not removed those. Okay, we've got the 5 colors. The 6th color here is the orange. There's my last little bit there. I'm repeating on this side. Going to try to speed things up now that I'm past what I would call the most difficult part of the coloring. And it's just the little accents left. Yeah, this boat was really a conundrum to try to figure out how best to color it. I am setting all of, oh, I have one last, I want, these are lights, and I am going to attempt to stay within the lines. But on my copy paper, I went outside the lines to give it some added glow. I toyed for a half a second. Oh, see that one I went out. If that's the only one that went out, I can take my eraser to fix that. So, pencils down, moving on. Keeping things going since I am probably the slowest colorist on the planet. Grabbing the next 3 colors. It's a 3-color blend. It is one of my, so we're all done with the fancy colors, and now we're doing some normal colors. The hull of the boat is going to be gray. 3 colors. This is the darkest. It is 50% cool gray, 30% cool gray. Sorry, you can't see that. 30, because the words in English are way over here. I would like that reversed. Can you do that, Prismacolor? I think they're going to say no. We don't need to do what you tell us to do. And 10% cool gray. I have not used this set since I got the barrels. The barrels are lovely. I enjoyed playing with them. They are considered a second different set than the Premier, because I own enough for them to color projects. Maybe not a big page, but they can color these small victories. I'm going to sharpen this one because I have some thin lines to do with it. So you'll see that I am doing heavy, 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 and then I'm fading out to light and doing the overlap. I don't think these need that. I think that you can go heavy, maybe lighten up a little bit. See, they just connect together so well. Oh, now we've got some different, I'm going to do this line, starting with the dark. Start the dark here. I see I did blue. There will be commingling unless I clean that up. Now I could. I know our time is running short for today, but I do have my electric eraser here. Let's see if I can clean up the blue. Oh yeah, that's nice. I was thinking that blue might stain, and it did not. Yeah, bad time for me to forget to bring my brush. I've noticed on filming, when I film, I don't use my brush a lot. I don't know if I'm being extra careful or if I'm just being lazy. Okay, what else do I have for the mundane chimneys? We have 3 chimney stacks. I don't think I'm going to do metallic. I don't want the metallic to overwhelm the rainbow, which is the focus. I'm going to try to put a little color on this pole. I'm going to now go in with my light, smoosh it all around. Moving on to my next color. I've got a blend for the water. Light, medium, and dark. Of course, they are aquatic. So we've got light aqua. Darn that lettering for the English being so far. I have to do this again. Okay, 992 light aqua, 905 aquamarine, and 1027 peacock blue. And I want to do a few points on the boat first to tie it into the water. Oops, I forgot one little section here. I hear the squirrels chittering away. Now I'm getting all serious. I'm quiet, focused. All right, water. I chose to start with the darkest because she has the dots at the top. See how well I do with it. This is my first, like a normal blend, like you would see leaves done. We'll see if I can make it look nice. I have the feeling we're going to go a little bit long. Yep, 43 minutes, but not too long. I realized I have completely forgotten the second boat for the gray. We'll see how long doing the teal takes. All right, this is just a simple 3-color blend. I don't know why my throat is all froggy. It is because it's morning. I do not normally color in the morning. I just want to get a second video done during the afternoon nap time. Hub is, of course, on the trail, working away. This is actually going better than my copy paper blend did. It was a little streaky. The copy paper is the... I have actually become a little bit of a copy paper snob. I blame my mom. I was there at her house and had to copy some things for some stuff we were working on. And it was like nice, old-fashioned, 24-pound, velvety smooth, really, really nice paper. So that's the first thing I did when I got home, was went to Staples and bought some 24-pound nice creamy paper. Okay, I have to blow away. I see crumbs. Yay. I'm very proud of that. So I can repeat that on the other boat without you guys. And I want, because I envision this boat is on the water and it has these windows, mirror glass, I'm assuming, I'm going to go ahead and use this color I have sitting out here, Cobalt Turquoise 105. I was going to do black windows, but they came out too dark. And I may add some white reflection. I didn't finish my coloring on the, I don't remember what this thing is. Isn't that called like a crow's nest or something? Is that what they call it? I have been very careful. I'm filling in all the tooth. I'm doing my smooshy blends. I think I'm doing really well. I give all the credit to the barrel Prismacolor, getting those in and using them. For whatever reason, they're less intimidating to me, and I'm not sure why. All right, last color for this boat. We've got 2 brown crates, and they are going to be chestnut. I am not going to bother with any blends. They're just going to be one solid color. I have to grab this is the lightest turquoise. That boat is done. Now, what time is it? 48. Can I finish this cute rainbow boat? I'm grabbing the 3 grays. I won't tell you the numbers because they'll be in the description. I believe it was 50%, 20%, 10%. Even with this back one, if I wanted to go back, and maybe I will, I can go one darker with the gray and have it be a 4 gray blend. I am very happy with today's color. Yeah, I was very intimidated. My goodness. I need to stop letting colored pencils intimidate me. I mean, these aren't even hard images. Oh, the pressure I put on myself. if I want to do a true smooshy full color, I will keep this gray going until it all fills in. All right, and then the door, I've got a tiny bit of purple into my door. In the interest of keeping the picture clean and not having my colors smooshed together, I'm going to just do the medium. I think maybe I do want the dark and the medium. Keep this one. I don't think I used any teal on this for the trim pieces. I could. How to stretch out the smallest image coloring as long as possible. The last thing, I won't do the water, that will take too long, but I can take that cobalt turquoise and do those windows. So for the weekly review, we won't see this whole page. This will be a whip. But I did manage one page. Okay, both images done. Thank you so much for joining me again and watching me struggle and be intimidated by Prismacolors. I think they were fantastic to use. I didn't find them difficult. They were a little different on this paper versus the copy paper because I actually did a complete mock-up, since these pencils are intimidating to me. And I really enjoyed my coloring today. So tomorrow is the weekly review. I may, again, later on today, get a chance to do a little conversion playtime video for the conversion from Prismacolors to Starjoy Gold 120. Do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing, and I will see you on the next one.